Hey guys, we have a very, very special guest joining us. Her name is Kimberly French. She has a very, very accomplished resume, and she's here to join us and share with us a little bit of her backstory, what she's enjoying in the program, what's working for her, some of the challenges, some of the things that are going really well, her results, and hopefully inspire more of you guys to improve your fitness, take action in your fitness. And so, Kimberly French, glad to have you on. I feel like I'm
Thank
talking
you.
to a celebrity. And so for everyone watching this and maybe they don't know who you are, why don't you quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm not a celebrity, but I did write a book. Maybe, I feel a little bit sometimes when I do my book signings that I feel a little bit like a celebrity. But um, yeah, so I do executive coaching. I had a long career in corporate and helping startups ramp up their businesses. And so now I'm a coach, but I'm also an author. I just wrote a book. And that's where I sat a lot over the last couple of years, and some of the weight kind of just packed on. So I found you just at the right time after I had published my first book. And yeah, it's been amazing experience so far.
Awesome. Well, congrats on your book. It's a huge deal. Not everyone writes a book, and you probably put in a lot of long hours, a lot of labor, a lot of hard work, also a lot of
Hmm.
sitting. And so,
Hmm.
prior to meeting me, it sounds like, that's been, a challenge. But, before joining the program, like what else has been a challenge and where were you with your fitness before joining us?
Yeah, it was very emotionally driven. Like I did it when I felt like it. And
Hmm.
you know, you don't always feel like it when you're stressed out, when you're
Hmm.
tired, and I was a very emotional eater most of my life. But for the first like 45 years of my life, my fitness was easy. It just, I was more active. But then as I got a little bit older and
Hmm.
my daughter got older, she was, not running me around quite as much. Like when they're
Hmm.
younger, I can stay a little bit fitter. And then, of course, sitting a lot. It just, I didn't feel like working out, and I didn't feel like, always eating healthy. And so I didn't, I had to make some changes. And it was really hard for me to acknowledge that as I got older, I had to make changes, that I had to do
Hmm.
things differently than when I was younger. And I
Hmm.
was stubborn and I was resistant for a few years until I realized I have two trajectories. I could go down the path of being old and frumpy, or I could go down the path of being a sexy, old lady, or
Yeah,
sexy
there
mama
you
as I
go.
get older. I want to be the sexy mama as I get older. So I had to
Absolutely.
adjust my mindset and really focus on my health. So,
Absolutely. And so, oftentimes, when we're in the fork in the road is where, that pivotal decision, is super, super
mhm.
critical. And so you decided to, decide to improve your health. And I find, a lot of times as we get older, it gets harder to work out, right? The energy level
Hmm.
slows down, metabolism can slow down, bad habits can
Hmm.
creep up. And, every stage and season of life, we need to renew that relationship of fitness and nutrition, right? Like, it doesn't matter what stage of life we're in. We need to eat. We need to exercise and move. Like I have a 4 year old. I have a year and a half year old. When my year and a half was like a newborn, his form of exercise was rolling, and then it became crawling, and then now he's running around going crazy.
Hmm.
When I was working as a physical therapist in like care homes in a hospital setting, some people were in really bad shape. Some people were
Hmm.
bedbound. Some people were stuck in a wheelchair. Even when people in the wheelchair, we did wheelchair exercises. Some people that were bedridden, we did bed exercises, right? So it's like any
Hmm.
stage of life, whether we're a kid, whether we're a teenager, we're in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s,
Hmm.
we need to renew that relationship every season of life that we're in. And you decided to do that, right? You're like, I'm forking the road. I can go down here or I can go down here. And you decided to make a change. And so I really enjoy working with business owners and entrepreneurs because they're growth minded. They have a growth
Hmm.
mindset. And so you applied that growth mindset and you started to improve your fitness. And so after joining my program, what were some of those improvements that you were making? How has my program been helpful for you? And what elements of my program has been working for you?
So much. So, I grown. I just want to say I joined a program a few years ago, which did not work for me. So when I joined yours, I was still a little skeptical, but I was so amazed about how positive the community that you had been building, the accountability, and having that sheet to track everything every single day about all the
Hmm.
habits. You're all about habits and not
Hmm.
about results first. You're about getting the habits, because once you build the habits, they will drive results later. And so
That's
I
right.
just love that piece of it. The accountability, of course, which I've already mentioned, but also you built a really strong, positive community that we all support each other. We see each other on the
Yes.
Zoom calls. We talk to each other on WhatsApp, and we share our intentions, we share our wins. And I've not been a part of a lot of communities where people are really actually doing that. The coach tries to get that going, but for whatever reason, people are still holding back. But you build a group of people who just love one another and just want to make sure that we all succeed at the same time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any area we want to be successful in, we need community and we need accountability,
Mhm.
right? The best athletes in the world sometimes don't feel like working out either, right? But they
Mhm.
still do it because they have, world-class coaches to keep them accountable. And, they say it takes a village to raise a child. In the same way, it takes a whole community to cultivate the right habits, so that we can, use the power of the community to
Mm.
continue to drive those habits. And, imagine like a fire, and then right below the fire you have all the sticks that are burning, the logs, right? um, if you pull out that stick to the side, what's going to happen? That stick, that fire is going to start to fizzle out, right? So you have the small stick and you have the big bunch of sticks that are burning bright. So
Mhm.
once that stick fizzles out, if you put it back into the fire, it starts to burn again, right? And so we need
Mhm.
that power of a community to, light us up and to keep us going, right? Especially on those days that we don't feel like it. And so kudos
Mhm.
for you for taking action. I know sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, the older we get, sometimes we're like, you know what, I want to just try to figure it out on my own. But you're like, no, I need help, And so you decided to reach out. You got some phenomenal results so far. And so share with us, what are your results so far, Kimberly?
Yeah, so I've released 10 pounds so far,
Hmm.
and I have some more to go, obviously. Not obviously, you can't see my body, but I have more that I want to release, but
Hmm.
I'm about a third of the way to my goal. And before I even realized the releasing of the weight, I started seeing a toned body in the mirror.
Yes.
So I was probably releasing some more fat, but I was building some muscle because you really um, encourage those workouts throughout the week. Very simple workouts, nothing, over the top. But it's building muscle and it's building a tone in my body that I hadn't seen in a few years. So it's coming back.
Yeah, we're losing weight the right way. Sometimes if
Mhm.
we lose weight too aggressively, we risk losing muscle. Yes, it looks good on the
Mhm.
scale, but in reality, how our clothes fit, not so good. And so muscle
Mhm.
weighs more than fat. So yes, we're losing fat and we're building lean muscle, which is great. And for someone like you, you've lost over 10 pounds, which is great. Um, someone in their 50s losing 10-ish pounds is equivalent to someone in their 20s losing like 20, 30 pounds. So it's a huge milestone, right? Like
Mhm.
boosting your metabolism, building some of those habits, feeling confident, having more energy. These are all amazing things. And so for someone that's, maybe similar in your shoes, maybe they're a mom, maybe they're, entrepreneur, maybe they've written a book, maybe they're a business leader or executive coach, maybe they're in their 50s and they're done programs that haven't worked in the past, maybe they're a little
Mhm.
skeptical. Um, and they're looking to improve their fitness or maybe potentially release some of that extra weight. And they're checking out this video, they made it this far so far, and they're like on the fence of joining us. What would you say to them?
Do it. I mean, I think that you've built a community that speaks for itself. And I think there's really nothing to lose because you're building habits. You're not going to be you're not going to be white knuckling it anymore. You're going to be finding some things that are going to work for you that's going to seem more natural than white knuckling. I got done with white knuckling, so I don't do that anymore. And you're helping me build something that's sustainable that I really want to, take with me to the next phase.
Amazing. It's all about building the right habits, just like brushing your teeth.
It
I call it
is.
automatic habits, things you do every day without thinking about it. And so,
Yeah.
Kimberly, it's an honor to have you here. Thanks for being courageous and vulnerable enough to share a little bit of your story. For everyone
Mhm.
watching, you made it this far. I want to leave you a little gift. I have an ebook. It's called Metabolic Meals. It's my 5-day meal guide to boost metabolism and to burn fat. And so inside there's recipes, there's workouts. There's my 3-step formula to boost metabolism. If you want a free copy, comment below, Metabolic Meals. I'll grab you a free copy. And if you wanted to check out our program, I have a 5-day trial. Check us out. Um, talk to Kimberly if you know her personally. And yeah, thanks, Kim, for popping onto this testimonial video. And we're looking forward to seeing you crush the next milestone ahead.
All right. Thank you.
If you like this video, you definitely want to check out the next one by clicking right here.